Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is Brother Yakov coming to you again with another lesson. Before I go into this lesson, I want to give all praise, and honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kodash, double honor to head apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. And lesson I want to go into, man, hey, man, people, in so-called America is going to be starving, in so-called America, Babylon the Great. Everything is getting ready, to shut down, which is they're already having your president, DJ Trump, he's already having a meeting, about the shutdown, and so basically like it's not gonna be no food, inside the stores, people about to start going crazy, so-called America, Babylon the Great, man, it's gonna get real bad out here, man, you know. Um, but let's go ahead and get into the scriptures, and Lord's will, this beautiful lesson will be edifying. So let's go ahead and go to the book of Slakia. Matter of fact, let me see here. I'm gonna read this first real quick. Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 22. Suddenly shall the sworn places appear unsown. The four storehouses shall be suddenly be found empty. Hey man, there's not gonna be no more food. Your or your Walmart. You got your Walgreens, and you got your Fry's. And you got all the grocery stores. Including the gas stations. Hey man, it's about to be no more food, man. And people about to be dying of hunger, man. But I got this article real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and read. If the United States federal government shutdown continues, millions of low-income Americans will lose access to a monthly benefit that pays for food. About 42 million people receive money through the Supplemental Nutrition as an instance program, sometimes called food stamps, and Donald Trump, hey man, he's about to, cut out the food stamps, right? I'll read that again. About 42 million people receive money through the Supplemental Nutrition as an instance, an instance program, sometimes called food stamps. The Department of Agriculture told states in October 10th letter that if the shutdown continues, the program would run the program would run out of money to pay for benefits in November. And amen. DJ Trump, is talking about this government shutdown, and he's about to cut off the food stamps. He's about to get rid of the Social Security, and everything else, man. So hey, man, it's gonna get bad out here, so-called America, Babylon the Great, man. So let's go ahead and go back to Second Ezra. This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 22. And suddenly shall the sworn places appear unsown, the full storehouses the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Say, man, there's not gonna be no more food, man. People gonna be really starving out here to death, man. Right? Verse 23. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. Verse 24. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. Best friends. Who's been best friends since high school. Hey man, they're gonna be fighting. Like enemies, man. because hey, I'm gonna read it again. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. So amen. Like your best friend, who you knew for years, you're gonna be an enemy, towards that man, you know, because for the there's gonna be like food shortages, man. You know, you're gonna try to feed your family, but when your best friend, he's gonna try to feed his family as well. But y'all two gonna be fighting like enemies, try to rob each other, man. You know, let's go ahead and stay in Second Ezra. Let me see. Second Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 17. Let me see. Yep, Second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So you're gonna try to go into a city and you're not gonna be able to go into that city, because you're gonna try to go into the next city, to try to find a Circle K, to try to find a Walmart, to try to find like a regular grocery store. Hey man, it's not gonna be no food in no grocery stores, you know. Verse 18, um, for because of their pride, because hey, this so-called America, Babylon the Great, they're walking in great pride. They're thinking they're not, and nothing's gonna happen, right? For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So hey man, hey, everybody's gonna be afraid. Um, when all hell breaks loose, everybody's gonna be afraid. It's gonna be a lot of screaming, you know, um, people robbing each other. Well, it's exactly. Sorry about that. It's gonna tell you, verse 19: a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. See, you got people who's gonna try to go next door neighbor, with the gun, and they try and rob that person, for the food, right? I'll read that again. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. They're gonna try to take everything in your house, and plus the food, because of the lack of bread for great tribulation. It's gonna get real bad out here in so-called America, Babylon the Great. You got your next door neighbor, even your next door neighbor who you've been best friends with, for years. Y'all going to be enemies. He's gonna try to come into your house and take everything that you got, and plus the food, because he's gonna try to feed his family. You know, he really don't care about your family. No, man, he's gonna try to feed his family. You know. But let me see. Let's go to the book of Isaiah. The book of Isaiah, chapter 24, and verse 10. The city of confusion, right? And what's that? What's that city of confusion? So-called America, Babylon the Great. So-called America, Babylon the Great, man, is a land of great confusion, man. Right? The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. Verse 11, there is a cry for wine, right? Because it's going to be a lot of crying. People, a man is going to be crying, women is going to be crying, because they're going to be starving of salvation, man. Verse 11, there is a cry for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. Amen. So it's going to get real bad out here in so-called America, but that's all you see is great confusion. A man being with a man, woman being with a woman. You got game bangers. You got your pimps. Hey, man, hey, the Lord is really fed up with so-called America, Babylon the Great. So, hey, man, hey, when the Lord unleashed these plagues, on so-called America, Babylon the Great, because he's gonna send a famine in the land, man. You know, let me see. Um, let's go to the book of Leviticus. Because hey man, you got your parents out there who's trying to take care of their kids. Hey man, hey, that these parents who's trying to raise their kids, they're gonna be looking at their kids as if their kids was like a nice hamburger or some fries and stuff like that. Hey man, if the parents are gonna be hungry, they're gonna be putting their kids inside the oven, eating their kids, man. Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 29. And ye shall eat the flesh of your sons, and the flesh of your daughters shall ye eat. So amen. Your parents, you trying to raise these babies, amen. You're gonna be eating your kids. You're gonna be looking at your kids at their like a good size of meatloaf. Put some red devil hot sauce on them, and after that, put some ketchup on them. That's it, man. It's Salakia. But hey, man, this is real, man. This is what's coming. The so-called America, Babylon the Great, right? Hey, man. So hey, I'll read this again. I'll go ahead and close it out. Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 29. And ye shall eat the flesh of your sons, and the flesh of your daughters shall ye eat. So I got the definition of famine, and after that, we'll go ahead and close it out. The definition of famine means an extreme, widespread scarcity of food, leading to starvation. You hear that? And hunger in a Pacific area. So hey man, it's gonna get real bad out here, man. And hey, hey, the Lord is really fed up, with 2/3 of his children and 2/3 and everybody else in so-called America, including Esau, Edom. Hey man, hey, but hey man, starvation. Hey, 2/3, man. Hey, hey man, this is it for you. Because you've been too pride for a long time now. You thinking nothing's gonna happen. And but hey, you know, hey, the famine is on its way. You know, but hey, man, but I hope this lesson was edifying, and I want to close out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem Dash. Double honor to the head apostles, a great millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Hey, shalom, shalom. To the brothers, hey, keep on going, keep the faith, keep on fighting. Because the hopeful elect, we're almost out of here. Shalom, shalom.